Happy Thursday.
Hello, it is Friday Junior. Happy Friday Junior. It's my favorite day.
You like to say Friday Junior, huh?
I love saying Friday Junior because I love Friday. I love Fridays, that's why. All right, so let's get started. So today is Thursday, which means we usually talk about a bolo.
Yes.
I'm going to be on the lookout. So something to add on to your, the different things that you're looking for to source, right? So Michelle, do you want to put up the title of today's live?
Yes, let's get to it.
Okay, we totally forgot to announce our live today on Instagram, but that's okay. We still go on. Show still goes on.
Actually, this is more like collectible car models.
This is more like collectible car models. That's right. How's it going, Noel? Happy Thursday to you.
Hi, Noel.
Okay, so shall we get started? So Bolo Thursday. So why do we talk about this one? This is something that you can also just add to your list of things to find. Michelle and I are super into vintage electronics, but we have also picked up some nice collectible vintage car models. So we're particularly going to talk about like the diecast models, and we're going to show you some bolos, right? So some things to be on the lookout. So, first of all, maybe we should introduce ourselves. So my name is Marina.
I'm Michelle.
And Michelle and I, we buy things at garage, estate sales, thrift stores, things that our family give us to sell them online. And we use the profit, to help out our finances. And so, and we like to come online via Instagram or YouTube, or we also upload this live to our podcast, the Flipping Gals podcast, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And we invite anyone who wants to join us, in the conversation, or who wants to get into this hobby that we absolutely love, to participate with us on YouTube. And then we, it will be uploaded to the podcast. So there's this one, key term that is used called be on the lookout, right? Bolo. So when you're walking around the thrift store or an estate sale or garage, so you don't know what to get, check out the model toy cars. So we're going to give you some names of some cars and some prices at, how much these cars go for.
Yeah, Marina, let's also talk about how we stumbled upon these cars. I remember there was a garage sale, right, that we went to, and this person had around, like, I would say 10 diecast cars. And, we purchased them and we didn't know the value. I think, we just started this reselling journey during that time. And we ended up selling all of them. And that's why, now we're like, oh yeah, this is like, these are Bolo items.
Yeah, well, that's true. That was actually an estate sale, Michelle, that we ran across. Yeah, but it wasn't like a hired estate sale. They did their own. And so on Fun Facts Friday, we'll tell you more about how this whole hobby began. Back in the 1960s was at the height of the hobby. It started around the early 1900s. And believe it or not, there's still a lot of diehard collectors out there.
Cool. All right. Well, let's start with the first one. Now, the first one, I think this is a very well-known brand. They are called Franklin Mint. And they basically was a private mint founded by Joseph Siegel in 1964 in a place called Wawa in Pennsylvania. I have never heard of the place called Wawa. It's a cool city name. So they make a lot of coins, medals, jewelry, die-cast vehicles, dolls, sculptures. And in this case, what we're looking at, this is a Franklin Mint 1966 Mustang Shelby. This was sold for $600. So keep in mind, if you have the box of the item, it's much, much more valuable.
Yeah, and they actually haven't stopped making them. The Franklin Mint company still makes cars now. But of course, if it's like an older collectible item, you know, the value is probably going to be higher. And Lizette, New England Betty Boop, says, I used to put die-cast boats together. I was obsessed when I was little. That is so cool. So I didn't know that you can actually build them. You actually could build them yourselves. That is so cool. One thing I love about those Franklin Mints, which it's easy to be obsessed, because if you look at one closely, it's like a replica. You have like the wheels that turn, the engine, all the little tiny, like the door handles. It is unbelievable work that goes into these gorgeous, gorgeous replicas. So I could see why you were obsessed with that. That's awesome.
This next item, this is a blue bonnet, blue cars. Again, you know, this is from 1958. It's the model of the car is from 1958. And this is a 1x24 also. This was sold for $609. And this was through an auction.
Sorry, Michelle, I think I accidentally cut you off there. Yeah, it was sold through an auction on eBay. So we're getting our sold prices from eBay. The blue bonnet cars are like, okay, think of like an old car, and then it has the white, you know, it's like a solid one color car, and then like half of the car from the windows going up is like white or a different color. So this was, well, actually that's a convertible. So this was the Belvedere convertible, Plymouth Belvedere convertible. It was a limited edition, so always look out for that. And I mean, it's in excellent condition. It came with a box, so I'm not surprised it sold for $609.99. The lot that Michelle was talking about that we bought, we got a really good deal. I think we spent like $15 each, but we sold each of those cars minimum $45 a piece. Some of them were almost $100 for one of them.
Yeah, now keep in mind when you guys go sourcing, and if you guys find these cars, make sure that you double check and that all the parts are still together, because these parts are no joke. They're so tiny. They're like, I don't even know how to describe. Like the side mirror could kind of, you know, could fall apart if you don't take care of them nicely. So, you know, make sure, just double check, making sure all the parts are still there, because if some of the parts are gone, it'll devalue the item.
That's true. It will. But we sold, if you look at some of our previous sales, we've sold cars that were not in perfect condition. Collectors still buy them. And, you know, you could definitely still sell them.
Yeah, a lot of collectors buy them and they fix them up. They actually buy the little parts and they put it together. So that's a really cool hobby.
That's right. So good evening, Thrifting by Rich. Happy Friday Junior to you.
Hi, Rich.
So the next one that we have here is a different brand. It's called Danbury Mint. That's DANBURY Mint. So there's a car here that sold at an auction after one bid at $938. This is a Michael Jordan Bulls Parade car, and it's I don't even know how you say that, but it's 124 die cast. So again, we're going to get into all the sizes of the die cast and explaining to you what the die casts are and the history of that. We're going to do that on Friday, tomorrow's Fun Fact Friday.
Yeah, Danbury, they're a competitor, Franklin Mint, so they make a lot of metals and, you know, similar items. And we've never encountered this brand when we go sourcing. So this must be more valuable than Franklin Mint. I'm not sure. But we haven't encountered this brand.
No, but if you guys have heard of the brand, let us know in the comments. If you have encountered it, let us know if you think it's like more valuable than the Franklin Mints. The only ones Michelle and I have run across repeatedly are Franklin Mints. Every time we buy them, we always make decent profits on those. So those are our bolo for you guys, is Franklin Mint die-cast cars.
Yeah, so Franklin Mint is an English brand, but most of them were made in Hong Kong back in the day. So check also where they were made, because it will tell you what year the car is from. All right, this next one is MAISTO. We actually have two of these right now. Now you got to keep in mind what models to look for, and also the plus is if it's in a box, it's going to be a lot more valuable. In this case, we've got MAISTO All-Star 126 1987 Chevy Caprive, and we've also got a Mustang Cobra from 2003, and this is a 1/18 size. So the higher the number, the smaller it is. So 1/26 is much smaller than 1/18. I think
exactly. No, I think you're right. Yeah. And the MAISTO 2003 Ford sold for $450 on eBay after 41 bids. And then the MAISTO All-Star Chevy Caprive sold at $500 after one bid.
Yeah, and these are also die-cast. So this brand, they do make automobiles, aircraft, and motorcycles. They are also made in Hong Kong in most cases, which is very interesting because perhaps it could be the same manufacturer. Who knows, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Alrighty.
Okay, these are exciting. These are 1/8 size models, so they're bigger. They're getting bigger. 1/8 size scale. And a Bugatti, old model, 1933 Bugatti sold for $2,000. So $2,000, they charged $112 in shipping, which makes sense because it's probably a big and possibly, you know, die cast. It could have some metal parts in there where they're heavy. Another one sold, again, same brand, which is, I don't even know how to say that. Is it Poche or Po?
It's an Italian brand.
Okay, so POCHER. Yeah, it sold for a Lamborghini model. It's I don't know if you guys, for the car enthusiasts, it's a Lamborghini Aventador, sold for $2,000, and they did free shipping, I think, on that sale there.
Yeah, so this brand Poker, I don't know, Pocher. This is the same brand as the model that my brother has, and he has a Ferrari. So
wow.
If you don't put it together, if everything is still intact in a box, I bet it's worth a lot more. In this case, this Bugatti is still apart. You know, it's brand new. It was sold for $2,000. So if you don't touch it, it's worth more. So these are really crazy and hard to put together, as far as I know. So you gotta kind of be like a really enthusiast.
That's something that I have a question about. And again, we can answer the question tomorrow, Friday, when we do our Fun Facts Friday. But like on the die-cast, do they already come completed, or, you know, do you have to build them yourself? Because like Lizette said, she used to build her own, or is it a little bit of both? That's my question.
I think you literally have to. It's kind of like a real car and how they put it together. You have to go through the same process, except they're just tiny.
That's
so you
amazing.
Like, put the engine together. You got to put like the tires together, and you're using like glue and all these. Yeah, it's insane.
That I can see how that was like such a big hobby back in the day before television. You know, I could totally see that. That's really cool. So we have Bill. Welcome, Bill. Happy Friday Junior to you. Bill says, you know, he's Girly Girl Style Hubs on YouTube. He said, hey, ladies, sorry, our governor just told Washington State to have Zoom holidays. We've doubled our weekly cases over a month. Okay. Oh, okay. So doubling them is not a good idea. It's not a good sign to, we're talking about we're in the pandemic now. And the COVID cases are still rising, right? All over the US. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So
yeah, so Zoom holidays, that's probably really good advice. I'm really sorry to hear that about the cases. I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm not really so surprised, because look, I went out to get my hair done yesterday with my sister. It was the first time since March that I walked into a grocery store with her. And I went to Starbucks. I went to a grocery store. I went to the pet store. This is the first time since March. I think like, you know, the exhaustion of the pandemic is a real thing. The what do you call it? Exhaustion of like
Hangover.
well of quarantine. It's like you just want to get out and you wish things are normal, but they're just not.
Yeah.
The good thing is like most people had masks on, so that was a really good sign. However, like I was hanging out with my sister, she's a hairdresser and she did my hair, and she said that her and her husband went to the grocery store and like almost no one had a mask on. So
Wow.
those are the, unfortunately, like it's been, stated like, not having the mask is a way to be spreading all of these things. So
Wow.
yeah, interesting. And then also this is interesting because, Bill is from the state of Washington, Rich is from the state of New York, and he says our governor in New York did the same thing. He told everyone we're not allowed to have over 10 people to our home for Thanksgiving. I totally saw that on Twitter. I think, it's going to be hard to enforce those rules, but I think they're really good to keep in mind. If I'm hearing that on the news, I'll be more careful than if I didn't hear anything at all, 100%.
Yeah.
And no one's surprised about it. Girly Girl Style Hub says, Bill. He says, no one's surprised about that. I know, unfortunately. Yes.
All right. Moving on. This is TAMIYA. This is a Japanese brand. They actually make plastic models. So, at times in my head, I think die-cast is probably going to be more expensive because it's a metal, blah, blah, blah. But no, this is made out of plastic. It's a Japanese company called TAMIYA, T-A-M-I-Y-A, and they make radio-controlled cars. So in this case, this is a World War II German Tiger tank, and it was sold for $650.
I mean, that's really cool. So you're going to build this and you can control it with the remote control?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I want to say I remember seeing when, I visited Japan, I think twice with Michelle before. We went twice or once?
Mm-hmm. Twice.
I forgot if it was once or twice. But when you walk into one of their department stores, the Diecast collection is going strong. They have entire, large square footage of I think even almost a whole story of just these models, Diecast. So it's very much going strong in Japan still. There's an interesting comment from Rich. He says that he's a little concerned about sales. They're very low. And he's wondering, is it because of COVID or the election? And then there's like a really good comment from Bill in response. If you guys have any answers to Bill's question, please feel free to chime in. Bill said that he's thinking it's everything: job loss, the coronavirus, and the whole ball of wax. So we actually did a live, I think it was about, I want to say almost a month and a half ago or something like that, where eBay, so if you guys, any of you are selling on eBay, they had projections about the holidays. And I don't know what everyone is currently selling, but if you're looking forward to selling during the holidays, people are looking for personalized gifts these holidays. There's not much extra income to go around. And so because of that, people are being more conscious and they're buying gifts very early on. In fact, probably people have already bought a majority of their gifts for the holidays. If not, they're going to, finish the purchasing of them very soonly. So the gifts, go back and check that live out if you haven't. We did one about preparing for Q4. And then it really talks about that. And we're kind of starting to see that, right, Michelle? So we have, yes, we can confirm some of our stores that we have are slow, and some other items that are a little bit more personalized are doing well. So it really just depends, I think, what you're selling.
Mm-hmm. Correct. I could see that our clothes sales have been slowing down.
Yep.
Perhaps it's not on the top of mind of people during the holidays because they don't really go out. So that could be why.
Yep, exactly.
Here's another model kit. This company is called HIRO, HIRO, and they're also based in Japan. And you know, it's similar to the other brand Tamiya. They make model car kits. This is a 1 to 12 model size, which is a really big car. And this is a Bentley racing car. This was sold for $675, and the brand is HIRO, HIRO. So it's super cool. All right, this next one. This is very interesting. This brand is called MODELHAUS, MODELHAUS.
Is it from Germany by chance?
Actually, I don't know, but that's a good question.
Yeah.
It's owned by a husband and wife. The names are Don and Carol Holthaus, HOLTHAUS. Maybe they're German, but the word house comes from their last name for sure.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So they like to attend these car shows. They've been attending many years, and they like to sell these model car kit. And they're not even color. They're literally, all the models are just like a plain beige white color. And they have recently retired 3 years ago, so they don't sell these anymore. And this one was a 1961 Ford Falcon station wagon, sold for almost $700. And this is a pre-owned item. So
yeah.
It's super cool. It's very unique looking for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not surprised about that, because anything that is retired or a business that goes out of business, if you can get your hands on something like that, the value immediately rises. And it can be in so many different categories. This is collectibles we're talking about. But even if you have perfume or lotion or anything like that, yeah, even a household cleaning item, your price on that can go pretty high. People will definitely buy it. They're looking for it. But this is the first model we've seen, like Michelle said, where the cover is like a neutral beige color. And I think that would be really fun to paint it. I'm assuming that's what you need to do, right? On this one, you can choose your own color and paint the car whatever color you want.
Yep. I think that's the idea. So MODELHAUS, Bolo item for sure. This next one is something interesting. I don't know a lot about cars. So this brand is actually called Polar Lights. They started in 1996, and they make these cars called funny car. And a funny car is basically a type of drag racing cars in a specific racing class. So I don't know how to, I mean, Marina, maybe you could describe it. This was sold for $1,281. And this is a Mr. Norm funny car.
Yeah, and that was after 31 bids on eBay. So it looks like a racing car that you can, the shell is easy to take apart, and you can check out the engine. That engine looks pretty intricate. So again, like, as you can see, all of these diecast or, these car model companies have a different specialty, right? Mr. Norm, the packaging looks funny. It's called a funny car. I don't know why, but the packaging looks funny. The text is kind of in funny big red letters. So definitely, it looks like it's funny. It looks like it's like a joke, but it's not a joke at $1,281.
Yeah, and I have no clue that funny car is a type of drag racing. I don't know anything about that.
There you go. Me neither.
This last one, another Japanese company. So I think, this was a trend in Japan, and I think it grew. So this company is called Otaki, OTAKI. This is a 1x12 Porsche 911 Turbo. And again, this is brand new in a box. This was sold for $745. Again, all the parts are still in there, untouched. So I think a lot of people like to collect these, and they don't really touch it or open it.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, if you're a collector, okay, I love stationery. You see me, I'm not a collector, but in a way I am because I hoard a lot of stationery. And think of all of the pens that I bought when we were in Japan that were never open and they're still in the closet, completely sealed. Because I'm hoping to open them one day, but it's been years now and it hasn't happened. So
Yeah.
I would imagine it's maybe, you know, especially if you have to put it together, or if it was a gift and you just never really got to it. And then, you know, time passes and there it is. You find it at an estate sale or a garage sale or a thrift store.
Well, now my question is for the people who buy these, are they going to open it? Or they're just going to leave it?
Possibly open it. Depends, right? If they're collectors. I would love to talk to a collector and ask them. Some collectors don't want to open it. They want to keep it in the box and, you know, continue passing it on as a sort of legacy.
That's true. All right. That's it. So we now go to our meme.
Okay. So in this picture, there is a very old car from the 1970s or 80s, and it's gray. And so it says there, no money for a paint job. It's okay. Use duct tape. And that is, I mean, for this car, if they use duct tape, which I'm assuming they did, you cannot even see it. Oh yeah, I could see the duct tape now.
It's hilarious.
But if you have a great car, you don't have money for a paint job, you could totally use duct tape. Why not? But yeah. So Lizette thought it was funny. Yeah, I mean, I wish they need to have like a dark gray duct tape because that's the color of my car. I have dark gray.
So Bill
I would use it.
Bill has a comment.
Okay.
He said the model house kit. Yeah, those are really cool. I think out of all the cars, I would probably want the model house.
The model house was your favorite one?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The funny car was cool, and the one right before, it was the one that was right before the meme. That one was really cool too. Now, Bill said, was just about to say, collecting is walking a fine line in a hoarding. I have a rough time with stationery. Just ask Michelle.
Stationaries and books.
Stationaries and books. Those are my my hoarding things. I don't mean to hoard. I just can't stop, you know, buying cute stationery. All right. Well,
thank you for joining, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining, and be on the lookout when you guys go to estate sales, garage sales, or you know, even at the thrift stores, and let us know if you happen to find any of these models while you're out there. Again, Michelle and I, we found them at estate sales. So you can often, you know, before you go to an estate sale, you can often find pictures of the items online before you go and check it out. See if there's any collections of diecast older cars there, and it would be worth checking out. So thank you so much for coming tonight and participating on our live. We hope that you have a beautiful evening, and thanks for always making our days. We work really hard every day, and then we relax and we hang out with you guys as we're learning together. So thank you so much. We super appreciate that, and we hope to see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, Junior. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night,
Take care.
everyone.
Have a good night.